Today I'm going to teach you how to play Understand by Keishi on the guitar. As you saw from the thumbnail, you have to tune your guitar a whole step down. So D, G, C, F, A, D. And that's because the song's in F. And we're playing this as if the key's in G, if we're in E standard. So that's how we're going to start. Let's get started on the chords. And then part of the song, you would have this little riff. This is not actually a chord, but it's part of a riff. And then there's this chord. See? So that's all the chords you need to know. So I'm going to divide the video into several parts. I'm going to do the intro, the verse, the chorus, apparently a part of the bridge, post-chorus. So let's get started. So let's start with the intro. So the song is in like 84 beats per minute as far as I know. This part is actually like the most free time. So for this bar, so this chord, this is like you hold it until you feel like you want to move to another one. It actually is not that long on the record. If you're actually thinking about it, it's actually not super long. It's good to like hold out the note compared to just like playing on your fixed metronome. You need to hold it out for a certain amount of time. This A minor Aug minor 7. You hold it for a certain amount of time before you switch to the D minor D dim 7. And then there's this part. This one is a little bit more free. You get that 9th in there. You want to really emphasize that 9th in there. And then this chord. C. So those are like the very specific parts that you should actually focus on. Now for most of picking, the general rule is you go from low to high because you're doing some sort of a arpeggio. Let me talk about the very basic picking. Okay, so for this one, so you do the low E, E, A, G, and then for this A minor to A Aug, A minor to A minor Aug. It's just 3 strings, A, D, and a B. With that hammer on there. This one is 4 strings, but it's still very similar. A, D, and then G, B at the same time. This D minor chord, do little roll. I already mentioned this chord. You do very similar to the D flat dim 7, and also you do slide. Now let's talk about the verse. Actually, it's very similar to the intro, but now you're actually going to be dead on time. So let me play this. Again, the picking for the verse is very much similar, but the thing is, you need to be like right on time, so you don't actually hold up the chord. At this point, you're actually playing like with the metronome perfectly. And also, one big change throughout the whole verse section, and it doesn't even matter, is that for this G minor 7, you're actually just playing more of a G minor 9. You're actually just playing G minor 9 most of the time. It doesn't actually change that much. Also for that G minor section, 1, 2, the goal is to play like low to high and then high to low arpeggio, right? That's like one alternate way, and then like these are all the other options that whoever played understand actually did, because it's not very consistent. But like that's the general trajectory of like how you're supposed to be playing this G minor 9. And also for this ending chord, you're playing C7 dom 9, C7 flat 9, and then for the A minor 7. Now you can do this. I usually do that all the time, but sometimes you wouldn't actually do it. Or right, here's in context. Right, I'll say like in the record, I don't remember any part that actually would do this. Maybe like one point in the first verse, but it's more like this. So again, A, D, and then G, B strings. After that intro verse, you're playing the verse section 2 times. And again, with the same chord progressions, just you're not doing the C9, you're not doing the G minor 7, and maybe you're not doing the A minor augmented 7. Now let's talk about the chorus. So for the C flat minor 7, you would sometimes accentuate the minor 7, or sometimes accentuate the B minor 6, B flat minor 6. But I will tell you this: in the first chorus, you're mostly play both, whereas in the second one, it would be this chord, A minor 7 to A minor aug 7. It's very similar fingering. There's another chorus, but I'll talk about that later after the bridge. A, D, and then E, B, D, B, G, D. Now this D, when you're playing that D, is actually very important because you get that. So that's 2 to 1, E to D. And then you get, and then the next one is this riff. You just play E, A, D strings, and then you roll. Well, keep that D string going, that low E string going, and then there's first chorus I remember would be like right after the first chorus, you're playing the intro again and then going back to the verse, but it's a little bit different. Let me show you. Got this hammer on from this D minor 7 to D sus 7, D sus 2 7, D 7 sus 2. I call it D, yeah, D 7 sus 2. Again, it's very similar fingering, and none less. You're just doing the verse thing. And so that's like the changes from on the second intro compared to the first intro, and for the verses. And then there's a second chorus, which I already mentioned, very similar to the first chorus. And then after that, And then we go to the final chorus. Now, the main changes from the chords in general is this A chord. So in this A minor 7, you would actually accentuate. You got new chords. That's different from the. While playing the last chorus, this one you're playing a little bit more freely, so that's very much all you need to know. Unfortunately, I do not provide tabs because I just want to have fun. Now, the point is when you're playing a song is that the picking, you don't have to be super specific. Generally, you have a little bit more freedom. It's kind of like some sort of improvisation, so you definitely have a lot of room to kind of flesh out parts. But those are the general advice in how to play Understand by Keishi. I hope this video helps you learn how to play this song and like how to approach the song. If you find this video helpful, try learning it and also listen to the record. And if you find it helpful and you actually master your song, consider learning other songs. I'll see you in the next video.